I honestly did not want to do another bonus podcast episode about Critical Role. Not because I don't like Critical Role, just because it kind of takes a lot more work to put in another bonus episode. But when we finished the first season of The Legend of Vox Machina, Annie asked me, hey, who's your favorite characters? Rank them from best to least. And so I did. And I said, oh, Annie, I'm curious, what is yours? And Annie put fucking Scanlan as number 2 of the Vox Machina list. And I was like, hell fucking no. Are you gonna put Scanlan as number fucking 2? So here we are, going over each Critical Role campaign, listing our characters, and telling each other what problems we have. Disclaimer, every list is valid, you can like whoever you want, but what kind of show would we have if we just agreed with each other?
Now, that's Minty. I'm Annie. This is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU. My list is more correct because I'm the biggest, fattest Critical Role fan.
Fat.
God.
Huge. Like the back rows on this, fam.
Sorry, Minty's been watching a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. That's what Minty watches. I watch Critical Role. So we're going to go each campaign, 1, 2, and 3. There will be spoilers, and there will be strong opinions.
And there might be some misinformation, because technically the only one we've seen 100% is Bell's House.
Yep.
That's the name they decided on.
So
that's a different topic.
We'll go first with Campaign 1, Vox Machina. Minty, you may say your list first.
So from best to worst, it is Vax, Percy, Grog, Vex, Pike, Keela, Scanlan.
Now before we, I was going to dissect it a little. Why is Vax on top?
I like Vax because, one, he kind of has a relationship with everyone. I didn't feel like it was him and only someone else. So, because I don't like cliques, especially with like a small group like this. I always like the ones with the hand-to-hand combat. I'm not really into like the flashy magic types. And God, I just liked it when he punched Grog in the dick. That scene is so funny.
By the way, everything we have is based off limited knowledge of Campaign 1, but mostly from the animated series.
I know nothing about Campaign 1 beyond the series.
So, okay. Now, before we get into your final, why is Keela your second to last?
I mean, if you've heard our other podcasts, you kind of know why, but just basically to sum it up, I've never been really into the meek characters, and definitely not the meek characters that have Deus Ex Machina powers. And for things to kind of come up for her, what I feel like is a little bit more out of the blue, or just out of convenience, or just out of like a stroke of genius, it just feels a little cheap. I just wish she came in with a plan and executed it.
Fair enough. Now, why is Scanlan last? I will say this before you get into it. People did say the animated series butchered Scanlan's character the most.
I can kind of see that because from seeing what Sam Riegel plays as like with Beth and FCG, you know, he's much more like less crude humor and more like clever and really likes to dick around with people. But Scanlan was just an anime series plays more into like having tropes, because it is important to have tropes. It makes viewers very comfortable, and like seeing a few tropes like, oh, okay, like I know who this character is, and it's when you like diverge from those tropes like, oh, now I see what the uniqueness of this character is. But Scanlan was just basically a one-note STD spreading whore that basically never gets really with anyone.
Get along, not get with like endgame.
Oh yeah. Look, well, I mean like getting sex.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, I know there was that beginning scene, but that got interrupted real quick.
Alright.
It's an overplayed trope, and I don't understand why there was a whole episode on him. Because logically, if all he was doing was creating a distraction, I don't know why they all couldn't go. Or at least one more.
I will say, people had a problem with the fact that when Scanlan did the whole Scanbo, they were upset that all of Vox Machina was like, we don't believe in you, Scanlan. But in the game, they were like, you're going to die, Scanlan. You versus an army of people, you're going to die. I hate the fact that he only did Scanlan's hand in the damn cartoon.
And random potions.
Random potions that seem to have come out of nowhere, because it wasn't from Gilmore's shop.
Here's a better question. Why is he a number 2?
Let me say my list first, okay? Number 1, Percy. If you want me to go on and on about that, I will, but
emo edge boy, white hair and glasses, Annie likes.
Alright, simplify me.
You have an affinity for demons too.
Alright. Then second, Scanlan.
That's
Grog.
a mystery, except the fact that he's the love theme.
Shut up. Grog, Vax, Vex, Hike, and Keela. That's right, all 3 ladies on the bottom. Put me in the dude worlds of Critical Role fans.
Sexism.
Look, okay, I just have a tendency not to like female characters because they're often written badly.
It is true though.
Because I think it's bullshit that Pike and Keela found the trope of, we have magic powers, but we have emotional trauma. We have to get over our emotional barriers. Men don't feel emotions, so they don't have these problems.
That is annoying. That is 100% annoying, and it's still happening.
And I just cannot stand, like, Pike, it's Ashley Johnson, she returned from Blind Spot, and she's gonna have a Deus Ex Machina moment just to be all epic. And I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up, I don't wanna see this. I don't wanna see one character hog the spotlight.
Animation was pretty nice though.
Yeah, I guess. That's the thing that irritates me the most. Pike had, like, the best animation with, like, her fight with Silas.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Scanlan sure did stood there.
And yet you put him as number 2?
I put him for number 2 because all I look for in a man is one who can make me laugh. And there's a lot more scenes that Scanlan does that makes me laugh and enjoy way more than everyone else.
How many scenes did Percy make you laugh in?
No, that's from Thirst Level. That's sexy.
What's the funniest thing Scanlan did?
The funniest thing that Scanlan did, I don't know. I know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You know what? Don't put me on the spot. Like, okay, so I know the
You knew this was coming. You knew this was coming for like a week now.
Like, don't get me wrong. I made a horny bard. I, sympathize with him. I understand that humor.
What bard is not horny?
A lot of bards out there not horny now, ever since that became a stereotype. To be fair, I asked my DM, hey, what's the most sexiest character? And they're like, probably a horny bard. I'm like, alright, let me go with that. Not my fault. But I digress. I know the bald tag was funny, and that's the only scene we ever found funny in our entire lives. But Scanlan overall is just funny to me. He's a funny little man. And I know his episode Scamble was the worst, but I forgive him for that.
I'm still waiting for your answer. All I'm hearing is a lot of, I agree with you.
But didn't you think his songs were funny?
Which one?
The one where he introduced the entire cast?
No.
The one's like, I can't tell which is which. That's Vex. She's Vex.
No, I did not think it was funny. I didn't even understand. I had to go watch something that had subtitles on it for me to understand what he was even saying.
And that joke what he did about the whole anal beads of love.
More crude humor, right up my alley.
Look, I just need you to understand one thing, okay?
Oh, I should have said up my anal alley.
Shut up. I will defend Scanlan, but Percy, my love for him is Mount Everest, okay? My love for Scanlan is the little house at the base of the mountain. And then Kira hits the ground because she's a druid. Okay, so there's a giant gap between Percy and Scanlan.
Sure.
Like, I'm not buying the Funko Pop of Scanlan, but Percy's gonna be staring at you when he comes in.
You still put Scanlan as number 2.
Yeah, I put Scanlan for number 2. I put Grog for number 3. Grog
So
is
did
one of
I.
the most one-dimensional characters on the show.
That's just how bad all the other characters are.
God, I don't like Vox Machina.
Don't be rude. I think it's a little unfair to base it on the animated series. I think it's more fair to base it on the podcast / live stream. Because translated from one media to another. Even to like manga to anime, comic books to movies, there's always a mistranslation somewhere.
I don't know. Do you want to move on to the campaign where we know the characters very well?
Technically, Bell's House is the one we know the best, but we can move on
Mighty
to Mighty Nine.
Nine. We watched at least 50 episodes of Mighty Nine. We watched 14 of Bell's House.
Because you started after Molly died.
I started after Molly died, then I lost interest, but then Caleb's backstory came into play, and I was like, oh, come here, baby.
Annie will always drop their favorite series before finding out, no, wait, I love you. Very angsty, Annie's relationships with...
Just say your damn list.
So, for Mighty Nine, it is from best to worst. Clay, Ford, Bo, Veth, Caleb, Jester, Yasha.
I'm very surprised Jester's really low.
I just kind of felt like she hogged the spotlight a lot, and I think 50% of it was entertaining / funny.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, it's just like flavor text, and it's like, you have like 6 other castmates. Come on.
By the way, we're not adding Molly because I watched Critical Role after Molly's death, so I don't know him.
I know him as Kingsley and Lucian.
Clay was a good character. My only problem with Taliesin is that he hardly talked. Like, he hardly took initiative.
Yes, but when he says things, it's usually pretty like impactful.
Fair enough.
One of my favorite ones is when they're having the dinner with Trevor.
I think it's Trenton
Ikathon, and he was telling him like pain doesn't make people, love makes people. I'm really into that after watching The Good Place, on how much external nurturing and love can really affect a person.
How come I never get any of that then?
You never watched Good Place?
No, I don't get that from you.
Because you never watched The Good Place.
Oh, if I watch The Good Place, then you won't stop hitting me with orders.
Well,
Weird thing that happens, by the way. Please call the cops.
Also reading Tokyo Revengers, so I'm getting a little bit of mixed signals. Read the series if you guys haven't. It's brutal. Anyway, so yeah, I always like Clay because I like the fungi bugs theme. I like that he's non-human. I like when he says things, it's like I said, impactful, and he's very big on like family and understanding people and just accepting them as who they are.
Now, do you want me or you say why Yasha's last?
For me, I just found Yasha to be the most boringest, but I think it's because I don't know anything about her backstory besides her having a dead wife. Like, I don't know why she's a fallen angel. I don't know why she was a cursed out. Like, I think if I knew all that stuff, it would help. But I think overall, like, it's not anything to do with Ashley, because the way Ashley plays Fern is very, like, engaged and out there. So Yasha just wasn't it. May have done with, like, her personal life because she wasn't in the show a lot. It's just overall, Yasha is not a very memorable character besides being a lesbian that can fly.
Yeah, personally for me, I found Yasha one-dimensional and it could be all.
Should you say your list first?
Real fast, just to, we're on the Yasha topic, kind of want to go back and forth. The whole thing, like, she got a lesbian lover, the people didn't like that, so they killed the lesbian lover and Yasha ran away. She became the orphan maker, and then she had her memories wish-washed, and then she ended up at a circus, and it's like, alright, yeah, okay, make a better backstory next time. I believe in you,
That's
Ashley.
rude.
So, my list is Caleb. I love my angsty boys, if we did not tell from Percy. Jester, Ford, Beth, Clay, Bo, Yasha.
Why is Bo so low?
Bo is... Okay, I like Bo, don't get me wrong. Okay, like, unlike Vox Machina, well, shit on all of them, I do have a special place for every Mighty Nein character. Bo's just kinda low because I'm just gonna say it outright. I didn't really care about her whole storyline with her parents or with the Cobalt Soul, and I only really liked her interactions with the other Mighty Nein. So I didn't think Bo could carry herself as a character by herself.
Yeah, I don't know her past either.
I mean, hers is simpler than Yasha. I know when they talked about when they met Bo's dad, I know a lot of people was like, well, this is triggering my abusive, neglectful parent.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. So Bo's very relatable, but I don't like my plain Janes. Give me my ancient boy who burned his parents alive.
Yeah, what's up with that? You like Caleb the most, who is basically... First of all, Liam is very theatrical. So I swear to God, every time Caleb did something, he had to say a paragraph of description. It's like reading Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, where I have to know what the room looks like, and it's a symbolism for people.
I think he's the only one who was in theater.
You can tell. But burned his parents, had to run away from home, got in jail somehow. Because you and the funniest character, I understand, because that is the basicness of who you are. But the edgelords always like, how do they always creep up here?
Number one's always the Edgelords, number two is the funniest character in my
It
opinion.
makes no sense. Because you don't like edgy stories.
Yeah.
But you like edgy characters in a comedy story or like just anything lighthearted. So that's why it's like a disconnect.
I think for me, it astounds me when you can get an edgy character and put so much emotion in them, because that's just something I can't do because I'm the class clown trope in charactertrope.com, tvtrope.com. So I'm always just amazed and like blown out of my mind that, you had Percy dealing with all his vengeance and you had Caleb dealing with all his regrets.
But you also don't like it when people do that and it's just like overboard or they don't like explain the setup enough. So it's like you only like it if they really excel at it.
Yeah, it's a pass-or-fail grade, man.
But it's not always like that. It's just the outlier of this. It's just like a little mind-boggling because Beth is technically the funniest one.
I think Beth is funny, don't get me wrong. I thought she was better as not, because once they kind of fixed the whole not storyline, Beth just kind of been there and she always kept threatening, like, oh, I should leave, I should go back home. Meanwhile, Jess is over there, like, adding all this flavor to her spells and whatnot.
I mean, Beth and Not, I feel like are just one and the same in terms of the listing.
I might put Not higher than Ford a little.
Yeah, that was a surprise that you would put Ford above Beth. But anyways, so we'll move on to the last and final campaign.
Ugh, take all my opinions for Bell's Hells with a grain of salt. Except for last place. I'll fight for that.
Oh god. So, campaign 3, I'm still not happy with the name. I kind of like Bell's Hellions, but Laura was like, no. I was like, okay. Because Bell's Hells means nothing.
Hell Bells just sounds so much better.
Hell's Bells sounds better because it's an adjective and a noun, which is the norm for English-speaking tendencies. But Bell's Hells is like, what is a Hells? Why are you Hells? You're not a place, you're people, you know? So, for my list, from best to worst, it would be Ashton, Fern, Ladna, or Chetney, Dorian, Imogen, FCG.
And my list would be Dorian, Ladna, Fern, Ashton, FCG, Chitney, Orem, Imogen. Oh, Imogen.
Okay, I think as of right now, there's only 14 episodes recorded. FCG is just the worst one because, don't get me wrong, Sam Riegel is still a funny dude and there has been some witty comments, right? We're always gonna bring up Dancer and Pussy, right? But I just feel like overall, I don't think they really explain the relationship of FCG and Ashton enough, so I don't understand his connection with Ashton. Like, I know he's trying to fix Ashton's trauma, but like, who employed FCG to do this? Because I'm pretty sure Ashton was not the one who did it. So a lot of his purpose and backstory is just not explained. Even the parts that should be known, such as his relationship with Ashton. And I just think like, because he's supposed to be more like a non-immuting emotion character, he really is playing that up and not giving me much to really look forward to when he plays.
I mean, the whole thing with Ashton is that Ashton found FCG all beaten up, and FCG just grew attached to Ashton after that because Dancer died, so he had nowhere to go.
He's a baby duckling who imprinted on Ashton?
Hell yeah.
Seems weird, because Ashton wasn't the one who fixed them up.
No, that was a non-binary dude.
Shouldn't his impression be on a non-binary dude?
Maybe non-binary dude doesn't leave his man cave.
I still don't like it.
Well, yeah, you know, I'll give FCG just some points because his interaction with Fern makes it really cute.
What do you do with Fern?
You know, he was her flask.
Oh god, that's stupid.
You're stupid. My list. Why's Ashton first? Okay, that's the problem with Towson's characters. But as someone who only saw him play Clay and Ashton, he's a very reactive character. He doesn't do a lot, so if no one calls on him, he won't say anything. Like in the most recent thing, it was like, I'm gonna challenge you to a slap fight because you didn't do anything this entire ball. And like Ashton, this problem child of having a reputation of being like a giant delinquent. You sure didn't do anything to earn it.
I like Ashton. I think he has a lot of flair. I think he's really smart, and I think he takes gambles. I think he's just a delinquent at heart, but he's got like head mobster kind of vibes.
What gambles did he take?
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like dealing with the underworld and like picking people to choose, he's willing to like take some of them a dangerous route, like going back to that lady that he owed money and he really fucked up his shit, so he had to pay it back or get killed.
Yeah, like his old group, the nobodies, robbed her, and then she pushed them out the window, and she was like, "Alright, you pay me back for everything that your little group stole, or I'm sending your ass to the cops." So he's just been taking multiple jobs from her to pay it back.
Yeah, I like the vibe.
And I mean, you might think the vibe is great, I might think it's rancid, that's why we say, you know, that's the list. And then we beat each other with a fist. Just like how Ashton would have wanted us to.
We don't steal slogans from other people.
I can't help it, it slipped out as long as you don't pay attention to it.
So you put Dorian as first.
I like bards. I think it's very interesting, the interpretation of bards that you do. And I think it's because they knew he wasn't going to be here long, everyone went out of their way to kind of like talk to him. So he had a lot of interactions with everyone.
Because I actually saw EXU.
Yes.
And I know that this is Robbie's first time playing D&D, but if you want to know someone who's reactionary and just plays as everyone's sidekick, that's fucking Dorian.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch EXU. I had a job.
This is your job now. I mean, I don't have a problem really with Dorian playing as the sidekick. I just wouldn't put that necessarily as my number one. He's my 6.
Man, I can't believe he's that low. I can't believe Orm's that high, actually.
I like melee fighters, and I like that Orm has a sense of morality, even though I don't know what this whole Shari thing is. Again, did not...
You know what pissed me off? So I found out in Percy and Vex's wedding one-shot, Liam plays another El Shari to Keeler.
Oh, cute.
No, not cute. I want to know why he keeps playing Elsharis. I believe this is the character where Liam said he was kind of, not really, but kind of hoping Caleb would die so he could introduce Owen.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you kill my little emo boy and replace him. You see, because Owen's whole thing is, what if you had a character who's just completely normal? That's what Liam said behind his thinking. And he would want to see if he could either like ground the group or would he change with the group.
Oh, that's an interesting thing, because that Owen does seem more plain. So, but also like room to grow into any kind of direction. Because right now he's a strong moral compass who has a goal to do, which is fine, but very middle of the road. Oh, you put Orm as second to last, you bastard.
The only thing that didn't keep him from last is his melee fighting. I fucking love it when Liam fights as him.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you have a character that's not the norm, so they have to fight in more unique ways. I'm surprised you did put Fern as number 3 for you, because I know you really didn't like Fern in EXU. Do you still not like Mister?
No, okay, my problem was in EXU, for everyone who didn't see it, which is everyone, there was a part in EXU where Mr. had some kind of mysterious backstory with a volcano, and Fern and the group had to figure that out. Abria is a great DM. I don't hate Abria. I don't think she handled the Mr. arc well, because it was just basically everyone being like, we gotta see what this monkey's doing. Like, I don't care about this monkey. I literally just met this monkey. And
you literally just met all of them.
Shut up. This is my story. And like the monkey's just screeching the entire time. I think Ashley didn't really understand Fern's character yet. yet. So it just seemed Fern's whole character trait was, I gotta look at my monkey.
There's something wrong with her monkey.
So I'm so glad in campaign 3 Bell's Hells, she has to summon the monkey in order to, interact with him. Other than that, the monkey is gone and we can focus on Fern doing the most weirdest shit. Cause I don't remember Fern being a kleptomaniac in EXU.
She wasn't a kleptomaniac, but she was still weird.
I didn't care for the hippie vibes. I'm loving this chaotic fae vibe.
Fair point.
That's my only problem was that I think Abria just really just grinded my gear with Mister to make me hate Fern by association.
You don't like Mister.
Yeah, I don't like Mister. But, to that person on Instagram who yelled at me for drawing Mister, I'm gonna keep drawing him.
I'm gonna yell at you for drawing.
Just for spoilers.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that. That's a different conversation.
So, Fern is third. Lana obviously is a delight, so she's second. Imogen, if you thought Jester stole the show with all her sending and whatnot, Imogen just seems like a tension hog with the whole, I'm gonna read your mind.
I guess so, but they do have to communicate somehow. At least it's a function. Just the one was just for herself.
I guess so, with I don't know. Like, Imogen's whole personality trait is just, I can read minds.
It's still only 14 episodes though.
Yeah, but by comparison, of the 8 characters that we know, Imogen, I would say, have the least.
But you know more about her story than anyone else's.
That's another thing I don't understand, is that she is plagued by this mind reading thing, right?
Right.
Why does she rely on it so much? If it seems like she just stayed in her room the entire time and tried not to activate her powers.
You think it would be better for her to live as a shut-in than to try to solve her problem?
No, I'm just saying she solves every problem with mind reading. Like, her go-to is, I'm gonna read your mind.
That's all she can do.
I mean, agree to disagree. I just think Imogen's just a really bad character compared to,
Okay, what should she do if not rely on the mind reading powers?
Okay, I'll give you a better question. Name a personality trait of hers outside of mind reading.
She likes horses. It's a horse girl who knows just as much about horses that Ford knew about sailing.
How dare you?
That's funny.
That was funny. I mean, okay, she's a horse girl who can read minds.
That's a trait. That you asked me for one trait outside of mind reading. I've done the assignment.
Okay, if I asked you to name traits of all the characters, right, would Imogen be on the top or the bottom?
I put it as second to the bottom of my list.
Why are you fighting me so hard then?
I just don't understand your logic of she shouldn't use the mind reading power.
No,
It's like, what should she use then?
my problem isn't that she shouldn't use the mind reading problem. My problem is she's nothing outside of her mind reading problems. They're not building on her outside her mind reading problem. It's like, oh, I feel uncomfortable because there's too many people in the room because of my mind reading problems. Like, I don't know anything about her other than her mind reading problem. I don't know if she's nice or mean, and I really don't like her relationship with Lavna.
Oh.
Because don't get me wrong, it's cute on paper, but when you watch it playing out, it kind of looks like your parents just said, you two get along, you're best friends now. Like, okay, we're best friends. I don't really know anything about Lana, but I'd die for her.
First of all, they've only known each other for 2 years in the story. Second of all, I don't even know if Lana even knows what her deal is. Like, she just knew she woke up like this and it's like, oh, I'm here. There's a cute girl over there.
I guess I find it very shallow because I think this is the only relationship in Critical Role where we've kind of forced, I'm gonna say forced, a romantic relationship between two people, right?
Well, I don't know if they're romantic. Come on.
Okay, but we drew two people together who weren't related, right? And we expect that you were just supposed to believe that they get along.
Wow, you're not feeling the love in the air?
Imogen, for the most part, ignores Ladna's dead thing and just focus on Ladna's always nice to me.
I thought she did try to look up something about Briarwood and
No, she tried
Whitestone,
to
but
look
her investigation roll was very low.
No, she does try to look those up, but I'm saying when Ladna does something creepy, Imogen's like, oh, I'll never get used to that. And it's like, it's been 2 years.
I don't know, I never got over your basicness. It's been 2 decades.
What a son of a... So that's my opinion. If you like Imogen, I'm gonna call you bullshit and you only like her based off looks or lesbian.
Again, going back to the disclaimer, all is valid. We just like to argue with each other.
Fucking bullshit.
Anyway, that's it for now. It feels like Annie's getting real heated about Imogen.
I mean, I'm just as heated as Imogen as you are Scanlan.
Scanlan sucks and you know it, and everything you said was just agreeing with me, but you still like Scanlan.
Imogen's with character traits on her ass just from the 14 episodes. Yeah, I'll die on this hill. Not 14, 12.
What are Scanlan's traits other than sex maniac?
He studied the book about the ziggurat. He sacrificed himself. Well, not sacrificed, but he was courageous and did the whole Scanbo thing.
Which was unnecessary. He did not have to do that by himself. He did that out of pride.
No one else offered to go with him.
Vax did.
Did Vax?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And he said, no, I'll go alone.
Which didn't make any sense in the series.
Which, again, why is Scanlan number 2?
Okay, we're done here.
Put your own list in the comments.